Hey guys, it's Lychee. Hope you are doing good. As you know, the new Keroppi Dash minigame is out. In this video, I wanted to do a quick guide as to the different items and strategies to use them best in Keroppi Dash. If you haven't seen it already, I also made a different video talking about my best tips to get first place. So I think watching this video and that one paired together will make you a really good player. So let's go ahead and get started. I took the screenshot of the introduction to props, but I'm going to talk about each one of them in order here. So number one, dive. It says tap to dive forward as the instructions. So I did go over this in my other video. To me, the best places to use dive is if you are about to jump off a ledge and just need that extra push, or you're just on a flat place where diving forward won't push you off a ledge or anything like that. It does make you go a little bit further, I think, than jumping or running does. So I would use this as much as I possibly can. The other thing to be aware of with dive is that there is actually a couple seconds of cooldown, so you can't just go around spamming it. But dive is something that definitely every player should learn to use well. Number two, booster shoes. I think this one is relatively self-explanatory. The directions that they gave are use this to gain a quick speed boost for a short period of time. So basically you can just run a little bit faster and then you got kind of a yellow trail behind you as you run. I would say that the best time to use booster shoes is anywhere that you are trying to close a gap. So for example, the places where there's a green spinning thing where the door is only open for a fraction of the time, you can use the booster shoes to get through that really quickly. You can also use the booster shoes to run quickly across flat surfaces. I would say if you're in an area where you need to jump a lot, the booster shoes don't really help that much. For example, when you're jumping across the platforms, I feel like it makes it kind of hard to control when you're wearing the booster shoes. And you're also not using the full effect of the booster shoes since you're jumping. The booster shoes basically just make you faster at running. Number three, paint bucket. The directions that they give: after use, a smidge of paint appears on the screen of all players within the impact radius. So this basically just kind of confuses people, and you've probably seen other people use this on you before, but pretty much it'll put this paint blob on your screen for a couple of seconds so that you can't see very clearly. I think the best time to use the paint bucket is when there's a lot of obstacles around. So if there's things where you need to jump across a gap, the paint bucket will make it more difficult to do that. Also those green sliding, wall things, and then also the electricity poles. If you can't see them and you run into them, that's kind of bad for the player that does that. So having the paint bucket and using it in those situations is good. I would also use the paint bucket if there's a big group of people all running together, or a bunch of people together, because as you can see, it appears on the screen of all players within the impact radius. So everyone is affected, and you can really cause some trouble for everyone in the group and just confuse multiple people at a time. Next, misty ball. So it says use this to create a mist for a short period of time. So this is kind of pretty similar to paint bucket, where it's you just create a fog across the screen. I think personally it's harder to see for the misty ball than it is for the paint bucket, but I believe the paint bucket lasts a little bit longer. Regardless, I would say that my advice for this prop is pretty much the same. When you see a lot of people running through an area, just drop the misty ball and get out of there personally as fast as you can. It does also kind of affect you, so you want to make sure that you keep running forward when you drop the misty ball. And then finally, we come to the last prop, which is the magic ball. So it says after use, players within the impact radius are bounced away. So same thing for this. I would say that because it affects more than one player, try to use it when you see a bunch of players in a group together and just kind of throw it towards their direction. It really messes people up when you're doing those jumping platforms and stuff like that, because it makes them jump up a bit, and then they get hit by the impact radius and are kind of bounced away the directions say. So basically it can easily throw them off a ledge or mess up their game and stuff like that. If they're running across a straight area, it's not as effective to use the magic ball. So yeah, I think that's pretty much my advice on how to use all of the props. If you guys have other advice or something you disagree with, or I don't know, something else to add, just leave it in the comments and share it with other people who are trying to get better at keroppi dash. If you guys have other questions, leave them in the comments too. If you found the video helpful, leave a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.